at AST. That's it.
Wow.
That's all that's there. It's not full. And apparently, majority of people that own these shares are still holding them with their broker because, I mean, I can't speak for why, but I can imagine that it's because they think that a market is going to emerge in some form or fashion. So I don't know, but that's what I heard today during the afternoon. I really didn't even want to open a space because I didn't even want to be here. But that Jon Stewart thing happened, and I said, okay, fuck it.
Right.
So
with that 12 to 15 million, does that include all the European people too, or is that just U.S.?
12 in total.
Okay.
That's what I was told. And, I mean, people can believe me, people cannot believe me. I know that fucking idiot with her head up her ass, fossil face, wants to discredit every single solitary word that I say. But that's what I heard. Believe it or don't believe it. That's what I got today. That's what I heard. That there was 12 to 15 million shares over at... hey, Paul. Paul, I didn't leave because of you. You should know that. It was just getting too chaotic in there. There was people talking over each other, and it just became too messy for me. So I just bounced out of there. I don't want you to think that I left because of you.
Why would I think you left because of me?
Because you were talking and people were talking over, and I was like, all right, that's about enough for me, and I just left. I really wasn't even able to hear what you said.
Oh, I got
drama in the Twitter world.
He jumped down my throat too. He doesn't listen to what I actually said, and he misinterpreted what I said because he wasn't listening. I said I actually tweeted Jon Stewart just now. Actually, I asked if he would consider having someone from the MMTLP
I like this Paul T guy. I was just talking about the other day, and Terry was talking about
live stream on his show.
Apparently, what's going on in the other Twitter live is pissing off.
Him that.
Yeah, I would hope that it would be John Berta,
Paul T, and Radio Drew. Still not a hedge fund.
Currently in, I don't know if he would do that.
So it sounds like recently they just got off of that Twitter live group, which was much larger than this one. That's got well, I had 150. Now it's got 204.
I don't think.
Apparently, Radio Drew will draw in some more of his people to this side.
Who stands to gain financially from any exposure should be the one to do it, if that happens.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
And we're all allowed an opinion.
Everyone, I mean, how do you feel? Who's going to do that's not a shareholder?
No. Everybody's a shareholder, but not everybody is a monetized personality.
Well, I was going to nominate Uncle Smokey. That's what I wanted to be on that Jon Stewart show. That's why
monetized personality.
I would take Curtis any day.
Oh, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want a YouTuber.
I would take 100 at this time too.
They want just their Twitter people. See, I've heard this before and seen it, and on occasion I felt snubbed by some of the higher Twitter people that are in MMTLP. What they don't realize is when they get their little groups of 500 to 900 people, that's fine, but some of my videos might only get that low in numbers, but sometimes I reach more people than they reach. So it's like I thought we were all on the same team, but
I'm going to try and ask...
I'm not monetized.
Dave, if he
I'll run the
thinks
show.
that he could help get John perhaps into a space and then go from there. Because
it's a start.
And then perhaps fill John in on what we know.
This is turning into more of a gossip show than anything.
A very specific group of DDers, and then I don't
obviously.
even have, I don't have to say a damn word, lest anybody think I don't want to. No. But
last bunch of interviews that they've been doing with anyone important, like that Christensen guy and all this other stuff, had people like asking questions that weren't asking the hard-hitting questions, the questions we all want to know. But they're like giving them softball questions. Like all of a sudden, some of the people that are doing like interviewing or getting the interviews for the people that could answer questions aren't asking the questions.
Back here. So I would love to see it be Curtis or one of the people that's in the group of DDers to fill Jon Stewart in a space beforehand. I mean, but we're so jumping the gun. We're so we're getting so far ahead of ourselves.
But get them on a space, I mean, which is great. But how's that going to spread, awareness?
Because you get him on a space and you get him prepped, and then you do the live stream.
He's willing to do that. I'm all for it, of course.
If there's a Jon Stewart in a space, there'll be thousands of people in there.
That's true too.
But we like to see it on YouTube as well, like he did it tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know how many viewers he has, but.
Yeah, well, listen, that's just my opinion. I don't, whatever the community decides is what the community decides. And if it's Uncle Smokey, then it's Uncle Smokey.
Well, yeah, whoever. I mean, I just nominated him.
I was going to say, I've seen Uncle Smokey's subscribers. He's doing a little better than some, but I tell you what, he's not making bank. I don't know what Radio Drew's problem is with someone that might be monetized. If they're talking about MMTLP or they're talking about Occupy SEC 23, they're not making a whole lot of money. I'd say Terry's one of the bigger ones of us that concentrate more or less on the real fight here, and he still works. There's not a lot of YouTubers in the finance world that are making bank. So whether or not they're making a few dollars for their YouTube videos or not doesn't mean anything. I mean, I would love for Terry or Smoke. Well, I'd love Allie to ask questions and Terry. If they're talking about an important guest, I just haven't figured out because I haven't seen the other part of the side of the Twitter what they're talking about here. But I definitely want someone that has the balls to ask the hard-hitting questions.
Feels good to not be in the middle of one of these.
And whether or not they're monetized will have nothing to do with that. It has more to do with character.
Because I can't do it. But be better than me. And just let it go.
Just because somebody's making maybe a couple bucks on something doesn't mean that their intentions aren't pure or more pure than someone else's.
Be better than I am. You are better than I am. You are much more grounded than I am. And you have an ability. I see you. You don't respond to the shitty tweets that you get sometimes.
Oh yeah, I know. I get a lot of those too. I know what you mean. I know you get them too.
Yeah, but
I've got thick skin now since I've
this Paul T guy does know what he's talking about.
Just be better than I am.
Co-hosted several of the Twitter live shows or calls.
Apparently, I'm not. So
takes time. You'll get there.
We can't both leave.
No, I'm not leaving, and you're not leaving, Andrew. You're needed here.
You can't leave, and so and just try not to let it get to you. Just tune out what bothers you and gravitate towards the people that really appreciate your presence here, and possibly none more than me. Not only because I think you're wonderful, not only because I think you're brilliant, not only because
I'm not picking on these Twitter people, but what the group that they got going on, which again you can get anywhere from 100 people to 1,000 people on a call. So they're reaching a great number of people, and I think that some of them have been very helpful to my channel. But okay, here's the other MMTLP group. Let's see what they're talking about. This one's got Elf and Marduk and all them. I noticed that usually and he's co-hosting. If Marduk's hosting something, then the radio guy, which I've already forgot, I'm bad with names. You know who I'm talking about. A lot of times, either just one or the other's talking. I used to see them on live chats together all the time. Oh, Syntax is on this one. Yeah, there's a lot of good people in this one, too. Jonah?
That he's being paid by FINRA to misdirect the general public because they're very threatened by us. We have a loud voice, and our stories make too much sense. And he needs to plant seeds of doubt that we don't know what we're talking about and we don't know rules. And he's, he effectively does that with these little chips going on these big broadcasts. So yeah, I think we got to get to Jon Stewart and tell him the real story, and not listen to people like David Lauer. Without, we can't just go to Jon Stewart and say, oh, Dave Lauer's full of shit. That's not the way to we got to do it politically, but we got to tell him the real story.
I think Stewart knows that Lauer's full of shit, because I think that was a calculated move on his part for him to make the comment before anybody said anything about MMTLP. Stewart said the internet is ablaze with MMTLP or something. Whatever he said, that wasn't asked. It was, he mentioned that on his own, and right away that's when Lauer started to get squirmy. And I mean, I think that shows right there that Stewart knew what he's doing. Okay,
it sounds like they already had this interview with Jon Stewart. I don't think they're talking about the Jon Stewart, the comedian, are they? Somebody write it in the comments and let me know things. Sometimes I'm trying to learn these things alongside you,
It doesn't matter.
Rock, paper, scissors. Scissors, what do you got?
A rock.
Okay, you go first, then I'll go.
All right. Anybody else who says the man formerly known as a man that we could trust name tonight owes me $1. We need to focus on...
What's your Cash App?
Okay, again, we need to focus on.
Jonna, you're gonna have to go after me first, because I'm saying his name a lot, and I don't want to give you any money.
The man formerly known as a person that works or supports retail should not get any credit. We're giving him too much press, guys. We're giving him too much credit. Let's focus on Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart saw our story. There were thousands of people in his audience tonight, and we need to...
I think they are talking about the Jon Stewart.
We need to go after that. One of the Ari's...
I hope I can find that on some kind of recording and bring it to you later.
And everything else. We need to reach out to his producers. We need to reach out to him and do a letter campaign to him, explaining the story. And we need to focus on that and not give this guy who has wasted our time multiple times. We shouldn't even be saying his name. He's not worth it.
Let's call him the guy.
Don't tell me to talk about Radio Drew there.
You can call him whatever you want. Oh, well, actually, no, Jack, you cannot. You are not allowed to call him whatever you want on.
I am right in the middle of this, between the two live chats, right in the middle of the drama.
And we want to
between the Radio Drew, not
a
professional
way, because
and
who's going to want to invite us on their space calls or on their YouTube channels
if we
go back and trash them right after? Okay.
I must have missed something good. I've been wondering about Radio Drew lately. I don't know.
So let's take all that energy and retweet it. I'm sure Curtis is going to put out a few great tweets for you to have a field day on, Jack. But let's focus this energy tonight on Jon Stewart and who else he's affiliated with and how else we can spread that message.
Absolutely.
That our information got out to thousands and thousands of people tonight that wouldn't have necessarily known about MMTLP.
New thousands.
And don't owe me any money because I'm collecting.
Cash App, please, real quick.
Okay, I can say it without saying the name, or I don't even need to allude to it, and it's the perfect segue because I think your mind and my mind were aligned as far as Ollie's Media Day tomorrow. I really feel like we need to be very intentional. And you're right. Maybe Jon Stewart is the main target for tomorrow. I mean, if Allie's okay and we can just kind of focus on that. I think that's the best place for us to spend
Apparently
our
this
effort,
is going on tomorrow.
And it's just so fresh.
Hopefully I can get a better setup and
maybe
report
we
that
can do
whole
that
thing.
if you guys can think of creative ways other than, I mean, we can respond to his YouTube
you all know
channel.
Syntax.
In the
reliable
comments,
source.
We can try and reach out to his producers. We can reach
Jon
out
has
to
been
him
talking,
on Twitter.
very reliable source.
I don't know if he has a Facebook. We'll have to probably check all the social medias and see where he is.
No, I'm not just saying that because they're one of the
can you guys think of
lousy
any other
few
way?
hundred followers
maybe
I have.
LinkedIn. Maybe he's on LinkedIn.
Jon Stewart?
But I do have a tendency to like people that like me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we have to look and see if we can blow up all of the avenues that he might be on. And like you guys are saying, be respectful.
I think somebody should do a TikTok video and send it to him.
Yes.
Maybe we can get TLP Studios in here. Maybe we can get him some of our videos, and maybe we can get him some of all the report we've been filing.
MMTLP Studios, yes.
Yes, we need to send him the link to the studios, send him a packet. We got to get
Who's
it
talking?
in his hand.
He's here with
everything.
us.
Yeah.
I don't know Anna.
What?
Jon Stewart? Jon Stewart's with us?
John, hi.
Patrick.
Oh, good. Hi, Patrick. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Wasn't that an exciting night?
It was.
Oh my God. Yeah, so we can't let this momentum go. Up in the Nest. I don't know if anyone's heard, but he's got this Up in the Nest. He tweeted about 2 hours ago now. And if you haven't gone on yet, please go on his tweet. Just click on it, make a comment. Just explain what he's missing and ask him to come hear our story. So this is an opportunity we shouldn't miss. So please go up there, and then, we got to get things over to him. I like where this is going so much. This is about action. We're being silenced. We really are. You see it. They even have someone who claims to be have a voice for us, right? He works for them. We are being so suppressed. We have to be heard. So it's whatever we can do. We have to get our letters to Congress. We have to keep the pressure up. Thank you. And I love the ideas that you girls are like Syntax, Jonna. I love these ideas. Let's just keep the ideas flowing. Any way we can get this to the press, we need to just keep our message out there. So I welcome all ideas.
Agreed.
And please, just speak if you have great ideas. This is what we need. We need to just keep this momentum going.
Guys, when you guys said he's here with us, and then you guys said who, Jon Stewart, and then somebody said Patrick, for a second I thought Patrick Stewart was with us. Also in the Nest,
Star
we don't
Trek.
need to refer to anybody as anything. I have a uniform for him, and it's there in the Nest. You guys can see it, and let's go to the hands.
Can I say one more thing? Please,
Sure.
when we're making the comments, be really respectful and let's not, let's just try to keep our message that we're an educated group. We didn't just pick this because we are, there's a way to try to just be professional with people, and we just want to get our message across, not anger. We are angry. We have a right to be. But
Anna again?
when we're asking him to come talk to us because Dave Lauer's a joke, we just need to not bash Dave Lauer. I agree. But I did say one thing on him, and I just said,
You owe me $2.
I said, Jonna, Dave Lauer, you will go down in history on Jon Stewart lying and squirming. I used your word, I think, Jack. It was he's just lying.
My word was not squirming, but guys, real quick, if I've dropped you, don't take offense to it. I'm getting mic requests, and I'm trying to cycle people out who don't have their hands up. So if you take offense to it, too bad.
Too bad.
Next up. Next up.
I think it was Day T.
All right, guys. So I want to say a couple of things. This will be pretty easy. I'm offended that Elf's in here. I'm just going to say that.
Or whatever. He loves you.
I'm totally offended that she's even part of these groups. Jeez. We don't let Canadians in here. What are you guys thinking?
I feel he was joking.
I'm just kidding. I love Elf to death. She's my hero. But you guys listen. When we have somebody that is not doing the community any favors, doing things like commenting on their posts, going to their Facebook and making negative comments, even thumbs down, that all helps their algorithm, because any kind of interactions they have, it pushes that people are still interacting with them. So if we just ignore them like they don't exist, don't say their name, don't mention them in tweets, don't discuss them, like somebody brings them up and you just ignore that name was even heard, you will do more damage to that person that way, because you basically put them in a little box in the corner and they don't exist.
That's exactly.
So putting a positive message.
No, I'm done with that. That's exactly the behavior I was talking about that I find to be unacceptable. And trying to silence each other. Everybody has a different way of looking at this MMTLP play. All right, and any attention is good attention, but trying to act like you're going to ostracize someone. I don't know who that guy was, and if you just got his name on there, I didn't say it out loud, because I don't believe in calling out people or ignoring people. Or everyone's got a message. Everyone's got a story. Everybody is hurting and losing pretty hard on this MMTLP play. Well, people from SEC and FINRA act as if they don't even know we exist. I mean, there's people hurting out there pretty badly. And I apologize if I ain't got the lighting or anything on today. I just promised y'all yesterday I was going to do do a Twitter thing. And I know there's a few people that requested that. So I know it's a lousy setup that I got here when I come in my room, and I don't, and especially if I forget the lighting, but I don't know about that glarish lighting, if that's any better either. And I think when I go from the bright screen to myself, it shows up darker too. But the main point, I guess, of this whole post is for listening purposes anyway. It definitely sounds like we've got an important interview. I think they said tomorrow. I'm going to look into that more. And if I find something, I'm going to go ahead and record that. Hopefully I can do a better job of it than I did today. I don't know if I got that too close to me or not. I pull my hand out as far as I can. For some reason, when you're videotaping, it seems to zoom in differently than the pictures. And I don't know. My whole point is to get the message out. I don't care what I look like. I don't care what the lighting is. Most of everything that you hear is verbal. It's audio, especially with this Twitter stuff. It sounded like, if you were paying attention to this whole thing, it sounded like at the beginning that people got their feelings hurt in one group. I think they shut down that group with Radio Drew After Dark. This one's called After Dark. What the fuck? It's 12-ish. Night chats. Most of these groups look like MMTLP groups, but instead of doing their huge MMTLP groups of 500 like they used to, it's definitely sounding like they're breaking up or splitting up a little bit over differences of opinions, which I've done videos on this and said this before, that a difference of opinion is okay. We can all come travel, as long as we all get to the point of what we need to get to. Even though it's now 75 days, a lot of you are getting down. I'm telling you not to. I know there's 3 different options of what can happen. My gut is that market has to open, and the other video I was talking about doing, but sometime this week would be my ideas of like how I'm going to proceed on when the market does open. And I want you to all stay positive. And if you got something to say it. If somebody does cut you off or tries to shun you, I guess is what they were trying to do there. I got the about thing. I've got the what do you call that shit? I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. And the email address here. I check that once in a while, but really go into one of my videos and make a comment, because I do check all the comments. I do read all the comments. If you got, if you want me to if you got something you need to say and you want me to post it on my show, I'll do that. I won't allow people to silence people. And as big as some of these Twitter guys, and I'm not talking to all of you, some of you are on the right side here, and even the ones that are on the wrong side, God bless you for being in the cause and trying to make a difference. But, some of your audiences aren't as big as my audience, And as far as YouTubers, I'm considered one of the small ones. So, you know, this thing I was hearing earlier about people that are monetized. Well, those that are monetized in our industry, you know, especially if they're doing a particular play like MMTLP, they're not making any real money. Monetization. Hell, the last time I was monetized a few years ago, I was, you know, based on those calculations, it sounded like you make a few dollars per video if you're lucky. You know, some of the bigger ones, maybe they'll make $30 a video. Is that really worth disqualifying them for something like a bunch of the Twitter guys were saying? You know, that should disqualify them for interviewing anyone of importance or the people they're talking about tomorrow. I don't know. I'm just rambling on. I've heard enough of Twitter. I told you I'd give you a little bit. I gave you a little bit. Sounds like there's a little drama there. Y'all have a good one.